You clicked because you want to stop chasing money and start making it chase you. Well, welcome, because in the next few minutes, we're going to talk about how to make money work for you, even while you're asleep. But here's the hard truth. Most people never figure this out. They work 40 hours a week for 40 years just to retire on 40% of their income, and then wonder why their money never seems to stick around. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not broken. You were trained that way. Since childhood, we've been taught, go to school, get a job, save money. Sounds smart, right? Except that's exactly how you get stuck working for money instead of letting money work for you. I mean, think about it. They never taught us taxes in school, but they made sure we could recite the Pythagorean theorem. Because, yeah, that'll really help when your landlord raises the rent. But here's where everything changes. In this video, we're not just talking about saving or investing. We're talking about a mindset shift. The same one that turned an average guy named Robert Kiyosaki from broke and frustrated into a millionaire who literally wrote the book on financial freedom. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He learned one simple truth. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. And if you stick with me until the end, you'll discover the silent trap keeping millions stuck in financial struggle. The exact mindset the rich use to multiply money. And practical steps to start building wealth, even if you're broke right now. So grab your coffee or your notebook, because by the end of this video, you'll see money in a way you never have before. This isn't a lecture, it's your financial awakening. Every morning, millions of people wake up to the same rhythm. Alarm rings, coffee brews, traffic crawls, office lights flicker on. They're not lazy, they're not dumb. They're doing exactly what they were taught to do, trade time for money. Remember this line? Get good grades, get a safe job, and you'll be successful. It's the script we were all given, the one that sounds responsible but secretly keeps you stuck. Because here's the truth, if you have to show up every day just to get paid, then money still controls you. And let's be honest, if hard work alone made you rich, every construction worker and nurse would be a billionaire by now. The system trains us to work for money, to depend on the next paycheck like oxygen. But the rich, they flip the script. They make money work for them. It's not because they're smarter, it's because they understand how the game is played. Most people play life like it's Monopoly, but they never buy the board. They just keep passing go, collecting $200 and paying rent to the people who did. This is the money trap. You sell your time, your most valuable resource, for cash that loses value every year thanks to inflation. Then you're told to save it in a bank account that pays less interest than your Netflix subscription costs per month. Woohoo! $3 of interest. Time to retire in luxury. Yeah, that's not wealth. That's survival. Robert Kiyosaki calls it the rat race. That endless loop of work, spend, repeat. And escaping it isn't about working harder. It's about thinking differently. The rich don't ask, how can I earn more money? They ask, how can my money earn for me? That's the secret. Systems. They build income streams that keep flowing, even when they stop working. It's not luck, it's leverage. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you stop being an employee in someone else's dream and start becoming the architect of your own. So before we go deeper, ask yourself, are you working for money? Or is money working for you? Because the answer to that question will define your entire future. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two dads. One had degrees, stability, and a government paycheck. The other had no college diploma, but eventually built an empire. One said, go to school, get a good job. The other said, learn how money works, then make it work for you. And that's where everything started. The clash of two financial mindsets. His poor dad believed in the old system. Study hard, find security, climb the ladder. But his rich dad laughed at ladders. He built the building. Let's be honest, most of us were raised by poor dad's mindset. You know, that voice that says, don't take risks. Debt is bad. Investing is dangerous. Just be grateful for your job. Yeah, that voice. But rich dad taught something schools never do. That money isn't the problem. Ignorance about money is. He told Robert, the poor work for money, the rich make money work for them. And that single line became the foundation of an entire philosophy. While most people chase salaries, Rich Dad chased assets. While others worried about job titles, he worried about cash flow. And while most of us wait for payday, Rich Dad was building systems that paid him every day. It's simple, but powerful. Assets feed you, liabilities drain you. Your car, your fancy phone, your Netflix subscription. Those don't make you rich, they make you comfortable. And comfort is like a warm blanket until you realize you're stuck under it while the world outside is moving. This was Rich Dad's biggest secret. Don't just earn, own. He believed the real goal of financial freedom isn't having more money, it's having control over how you earn it. Poor Dad worked for the system. Rich Dad built the system. And that's why one retired broke, while the other retired free. See, our schools teach algebra, history, and Shakespeare, but not how to buy a house, manage debt, or grow a dollar. So most people graduate knowing how to read, but not how to read a balance sheet. And that's how we end up knowing Hamlet better than our own paycheck. The Rich Dad philosophy isn't just about money, it's about mindset. It's about trading fear for understanding, trading effort for leverage, and realizing that financial education, not formal education, determines your future. So here's the question. Are you climbing someone else's ladder, or are you building your own building? The rich don't climb ladders, they build them. All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful money maps ever drawn, the cash flow quadrant. It looks simple, 4 little boxes, but it explains why most people never escape the paycheck cycle. Each box represents a different way people earn money. E stands for employee, S for self-employed, B for business owner, and I for investor. Let's start with the employee. This is where most of us begin, trading time for money. You work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. Miss a day, you lose a day's pay. Simple, brutal. It's like renting your time, except the landlord is your boss, and rent's due every Monday. The problem with the employee quadrant is that no matter how hard you work, there's a ceiling. You can't scale time. And that's why most people stay stuck here. Not because they're lazy, but because the system rewards obedience, not ownership. Next up, self-employed. These are the freelancers, the hustlers, the I'll do it myself crowd. You've escaped the boss, but now your new boss is you. Which sounds great, until you realize your new boss doesn't let you take vacations. You make money only when you work. And sure, the income can be great, but the freedom? Still missing. If you get sick, your income does too. Now we move to the business owner quadrant, and this is where the magic happens. Here, you stop working in your business and start working on your business. You build systems, you hire talent, you create something that makes money, even when you're asleep. Rich Dad said it best. If your business depends on you to function, you don't own a business. You own a job with stress. Because the only difference between being self-employed and being burned out is the number of employees watching you burn. And finally, investor. This is where money starts working for you. You invest in assets, businesses, real estate, stocks, even ideas. And those assets send you cash flow while you sleep. Now here's the big idea. Everyone starts on the left side, employee or self-employed, where you work for money, but the goal is to move to the right side, business owner or investor, where money works for you. This is the journey Rich Dad trained Robert for, and it's the same path every financially free person eventually walks. So yeah, you can stay on the left side and keep working hard for your boss, or move to the right and make your boss's money work for you. Every morning, millions of people wake up and step into the same routine. The alarm rings, the commute begins, the clock starts ticking. They work, they earn, they spend, and then they do it all over again. It feels like progress, but for most, it's just motion without movement. We've been trained to believe that working harder automatically means moving forward. But if your income stops the moment you stop working, then you're not building wealth. You're renting your life one paycheck at a time. Robert Kiyosaki called it the rat race, that endless loop where people trade their time for money, then spend that money trying to recover from the time they lost. It's the cruelest deal ever made, your life for a salary. Breaking the cycle doesn't start with changing your job. It starts with changing how you think. The poor work for money. The rich build systems that make money work for them. A system is anything that earns for you even when you're not there. A business, an automated process, an investment, a product, an idea. That's how freedom is built. Not by working more hours, but by designing something that doesn't need your hours to survive. Every dollar you earn gives you a choice. You can spend it and watch it vanish, or you can use it to buy or build an asset, something that will pay you back over and over again. Real freedom begins when your money starts showing up even when you don't. And here's the truth few people ever realize. Freedom isn't luck, it's design. It's built one system, one asset, one decision at a time. You don't escape the cycle by chance. You outgrow it by choice. Because wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how long your money keeps working after you've stopped. And the moment your money starts earning more than your labor, that's when you've officially broken the cycle.
By now you've seen the mechanics of money, how people earn, spend, and build wealth. But here's the truth. The real difference between the rich and everyone else isn't just in their bank account. It's in their mindset. Wealth begins long before the first dollar shows up. It begins with how you think, how you react, and what you believe is possible. Mindset over money. Poor Dad taught Robert to play it safe, get a stable job, avoid risk, and hold on to what you have. Rich Dad taught him the opposite, that playing it safe is often the biggest risk of all. Because while most people focus on security, the wealthy focus on opportunity. They understand that fear doesn't prevent loss. It prevents growth. The poor see risk and run. The rich see risk and research. And that small difference changes everything. The long game. The rich think in decades, not days. They know money is a servant that compounds over time. So they don't chase instant gratification. They plant seeds that pay off later. Most people spend to feel rich today. The wealthy invest to stay rich tomorrow. That's why one group buys the latest phone, and the other buys the company that makes it. It's not about deprivation, it's about direction. Every dollar is either a distraction or a soldier sent out to earn more. Belief and identity. Here's the part most people miss. Wealth doesn't start with strategy, it starts with self-image. If you see yourself as someone who just gets by, you'll subconsciously build a life that matches that belief. But when you see yourself as a creator, a builder, a learner, you start acting like one. That's why Rich Dad always said, don't just study money. Study yourself, because no investment pays off faster than upgrading your mindset. Failure and adaptation. The rich don't fear failure, they use it. Every loss, every setback, every mistake becomes data. They don't say, I failed. They say, I learned how not to fail next time. Meanwhile, most people quit the moment something hurts. They mistake discomfort for danger, when in reality, it's just growth wearing a disguise. The real secret. So what's the secret of the rich? It's not about having the right job, the right market, or the right luck. It's about having the right mindset. One that sees abundance instead of scarcity, possibility instead of limitation, and lessons instead of losses. Wealth is built in the mind, long before it appears in the wallet. Because money doesn't make you rich, your thinking does. That's why the real journey isn't from poor to rich. It's from fear to freedom. And once you master that inner game, the outer one becomes inevitable. By now you understand the mindset, the systems, and the principles. You know how the rich think, and how they move differently. But knowledge without action changes nothing. So let's make it practical. Let's talk about what you can do, starting today, to make money work for you. Step 1. Know where your money goes. You can't manage what you can't measure. The first step to financial freedom isn't earning more, it's becoming aware. Most people have no idea where their money disappears each month, not because they're careless, but because they've never tracked it. Start small. Write it down. Every dollar that leaves your wallet should have a reason and a purpose, because money without direction always disappears. When you see the pattern, you can break it. Step 2. Build an emergency foundation. Before you build wealth, build safety. An emergency fund is the difference between surviving a crisis and collapsing from one. 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's your first wall of protection, not from the world, but from panic. Because fear makes people sell low, quit early, and stay stuck. And when fear is gone, strategy takes over. Step 3. Turn expenses into assets. The middle class buys comfort. The wealthy buy cash flow. Every time you earn, ask yourself, will this purchase feed me or free me? You don't have to be rich to start. Buy one stock, one digital product, one small asset that earns something back. Because wealth is built brick by brick, dollar by dollar, and every asset, no matter how small, is a seed of freedom. Step 4. Build systems, not stress. Automation is the secret weapon of the wealthy. They don't rely on willpower, they rely on systems. Automate your savings, automate your investments, automate your habits, because the less you rely on emotion, the more consistent you become. And consistency beats intensity every single time. The rich don't work harder. They design systems that never sleep. Step 5. Learn, leverage, and level up. Your greatest asset is your ability to learn, and your second greatest is your ability to apply what you learn. Every new skill you acquire is a form of equity. It compounds. It pays dividends forever. Learn about money. Learn about systems. Learn about leverage, how to use time, technology, and teams to multiply your impact. Because the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And in money, as in life, growth is everything. Step 6. Play the long game. Real wealth takes time. There's no hack, no shortcut, no overnight empire. But that's the good news, because patience filters out the pretenders. If you can stay consistent for a year while others quit in a week, you'll win. If you can keep building while the world gets distracted, you'll win. Because money rewards mastery, not motion. So start small. Start now. Make your money work a little harder today than it did yesterday. Because freedom doesn't come from one big leap. It comes from 1,000 small, deliberate steps. And one day, you'll wake up and realize you no longer work for money. Your money works for you. That's not just wealth, that's peace. If you've made it this far, you're not like most people. Most stop when it gets hard. Most turn away when the mirror gets uncomfortable. But you stayed. You listened. You learned. And maybe, just maybe, something inside you has shifted. Because now, you understand the truth. Money isn't the goal. Freedom is. And freedom begins the moment you decide to control what once controlled you. So here's your next step. Don't just watch another video. Take action. Start tracking your money. Start building your first asset. Start designing your own system, no matter how small. And if this message spoke to you, if you're ready to keep learning, to build, to grow, then make sure to subscribe, because this journey doesn't end here. Every week, we uncover more stories, more lessons, more tools to help you build a life where money works for you. Leave a comment below. Was there a moment that hit you the hardest? A mindset shift that made you see money differently? I'd love to hear it. Remember, history doesn't change by accident. It changes when people like you decide to rewrite their own. So keep learning, keep building, and never forget, the story of your freedom starts right now.